All right, we are looking at XMR, Monero versus USD. Gonna look at the chart. So it has been moving up for a while. It's making a retrace. So let's just look at this a couple different ways and see what we think of this chart. So XMR versus USD. We're here on TradingView looking at a daily chart. So as you can see, we had a beautiful run up. And we are definitely hitting a retrace here. So let's just kind of get an idea of what this thing what the probabilities are of this working. Okay, why is my there we go, mouse is having trouble. So the indicators that I'm looking at here are Trendillo, squeeze momentum, and RSI on the 4-hour. I mean RSI, I should say, not on the 4-hour. And let's adjust this right now. Yeah, we're using the EMA. So not the standard moving average, but the EMA moving average. So anyhow, this is what we're looking at. So let's take a look at, since we're on the daily chart, let's maximize this here. Let's get it nice and big so we can see. And I'm going to go back to our lowest spot and do a Fibonacci sequence here. So boom, Fib retracement. Let's go way back here. This is way February of 2020. So I know it's a ways back there, and we'll look at a more recent fib as well. But as we can see here on a daily chart, when you can pull a lot of time in with a fib, that's really what makes it powerful. And of course, that's hard for short trades. I mean, if you're like doing like 30-second futures trades and things like that, the fib isn't so great. But when you're looking at more of a longer time frame, that's where the fib really comes into play. So anyway, way back to February of 2024, you can see this Fibonacci sequence is really sticky. It's really working. And one of the things you can see here is the 618 golden pocket definitely came into play. You can see here 786 came into play. Look at these look at that dot 5 bounce that we had recently. 382 comes into play. Wasn't really powerful. You can definitely see it was playing around here with the 236. So anyhow, it just looks like this kind of fits. And so let's just delete all this because it'll be quicker. Let's go back. All right, so where are we right now? We are at a beautiful dot 5 bounce. And what I like about that is, so we ran up, we retraced, and that's good. To retrace to a dot 5 is very respectable. To retrace and bounce in the 618, that's awesome. If you go all the way back to the 786, that's good too. But I think your strongest bounces are like right here in the 618 golden pocket, but that's fine. Doesn't really matter. This white moving average here, let me just make sure, is still, yeah, it's a 75 EMA, and that really comes into play. It's pretty darn powerful. And as you can see, we're staying above it. We came down to it here on the daily chart, but we stayed above it. But along with that is the legendary 200 moving average. Where is that one? Here it is. So there it is. And your 314, right? Is that one in play here too? Yeah, okay, so your 200 moving average, which is right here in your 314, they're right down here by the 618 on the daily chart. So something I'm going to watch out for is if I want it to layer in a long right now, one of the things I can say is, oops, sorry about that. One sec, sorry, let me fix that. That's kind of awesome. Oh, yeah, there we go. Awful looking. So I think definitely we could, like we're keeping the 75 EMA. So I would watch that 75 EMA. If we break below that and we break below the dot 5 at a 449.50 basically, then I would say, okay, we're probably going to visit the 618. But right now, if I wanted to make a bold, play, I would hop in right about now and see if we keep that 75 EMA, see if we keep that dot 5 for a long, and if we don't, I think we're probably going down here to the 618 golden pocket. That's where your 200 moving average is. And if you really, when you're above it, great. When you're below it, that's not so good. Or it just depends on how you're looking at it. But right now, let's look at the indicators. Let's pull indicators in, okay? Boom, indicators. Your Trendillo, definitely going, it has trended down. I kind of watch this Trendillo This is a very powerful indicator. It's out there. I'd watch for this tangent to turn up and get back into the range here in the middle. Like you don't want to be in the red right now. We're in the red, that's good, but that's kind of more short territory than long territory. Your squeeze indicator, definitely in the red. We've given a lot back, and that's good. Looking at the beautiful, make sure I'm looking at the right thing here. RSI, using the EMAs, we are definitely trending back up to cross that signal. So we've given a lot back. It's just a matter of what you believe is going to happen here. Like if I was to look at the TA, which I'm doing right now, it's in front of me, I would say this is definitely a good spot to go back in long, but I would basically have a stop under the .5. So right around like 439.75 or so is where I would sell. I'd be like, I'm out. Or maybe really tight under the 75 EMA at around like 455.26. I'd have a stop. Or just the .5 fib level, which is 449, so 450. You know, if you think it's going to continue up, that's good to go. We do have a beautiful 22-point fair value gap here on the daily chart. And if we, you know, break that, I could maybe be a little bit more exact here as to what that is here. So that's like top, that's about, well, let's just say 500, okay? And the bottom of that's, let's say like 475 or so. If we break 500 again, I'm probably going to go up, come down, bounce on it, and go back up. Then I think we'll probably have a continuation. Fair value gaps are pretty darn powerful. So let's just see, especially if we can break 50% of it at around like 488 or so. And that's going to be strong too. This is a daily chart. You're looking at a lot of time. So let's go down to a 4-hour chart and see how we're looking. 4-hour you can see the Trendillo's trending back up. It's out of the red. Squeeze indicator starting to look good. RSI still kind of all over the place. It's a little bit choppy, but definitely if I was to do a channel right now, like an upwards channel, we definitely have one going on. And you could basically, even if you wanted to be really, you know, white knuckling it, you could just get out right here at the you break that, if you break out of that, the lower side of that channel. This is actually the Trendillo line right here. It represents the Trendillo, which is right here. Anyway, the Trendillo, as you can see, it's in the red. It's going back to the green. So I think we have some nice positive movement on the 4-hour chart. Do note that we're below the 75 EMA. Getting back above it would be a little bit more bullish. I would like to see that. Looking at my moving average, yep. On the 4-hour, we're below the 200 moving average, and that's not super, super hot. I'm getting ready to break the 314, which is like right here, right? One place I don't really like to be is between those two, the 200 and the 314, because you tend to kind of bounce. I prefer to just not be between them. It's always kind of a slightly weak spot, but like I say, I would say we're probably done the retrace, but just watch out because we could, as we saw here, like on the daily chart, if we don't hold this current, uptrend, we're probably going to go down to this 618 golden pocket. So if I wanted to be, really, really certain of, do my best for, making money, I didn't want to take any chances. Maybe I'd have my, buy right down here at 366 or like, 375 or so, or even I'd watch to see if we make a bounce off the 200 moving average on the daily. That definitely would be a spot to get in. So what I'm going to do myself is probably layer in a little bit right now, and I'm just going to see if it continues up. If it continues down, I won't, but I would layer in some more at the 618 golden pocket, which is basically between 344 and 366. That is your golden pocket. A 200 moving average bounce, which will be somewhere else at that time. It's probably going to be moving up, but it's around 384 or 390. So anyway, I'm kind of seeing a nice upwards push here. Let's look at the hourly chart. Let's get somewhat specific. Hourly chart breaking back above that 75 EMA. I like that. If we can stay above it on the hourly, that's really darn powerful. I like that. This upwards channel is playing out. We're still above the 200 and the 314, but we're above the 75. We've got to just keep it. Like I say, I think I would probably, what I'll probably be doing is, getting a little position going on here, but I will be kind of down about here. If we break below that channel at like 466, 470. If we break this upwards channel, I probably would hop out. Once again, I could also on the daily just be watching, well, on the Fibonacci sequence, the dot 5, which we kind of are bouncing off of. If we got to 449, we're probably going to go, like I say, we're probably going to go visit the we're probably going to visit the 618 golden pocket at 366. So anyway, guys, kind of a little bit long-winded here, but either we're going to hold this dot 5 fib level, which really looks like it's going to. If we don't, I wouldn't necessarily hop out. I'm going to scale in some and see if it keeps moving. If it continues moving and I see better indicators, like for one thing here on the daily, the moment I see like a light red bar on the trend on the squeeze indicator here, as you can see, this like the bright ones, this is like the darker ones. The moment I see one darker red one, then definitely I'd be getting in more. The RSI here, I mean, our tangent is up, but I'd like to see the RSI cross the signal, the red line. That would be really, really bullish. I'd like to see the tangent on the Trendillo here just get back in this range. As you can see, this middle area here. I want to see that get back in, because as you can see, like here, we visited the red, we came out. And like what happened there, if I was to like pull a little bit more in here, we were in the red. Yeah, as you can see, we were like in the red. We got out of the red, crossed that signal. I'm sorry, on the I'm screwed up here. Trendillo is here. We were in the red, we came out, and then what happened? Bam, exploded. We were in the green, we were up, but then when we crossed back in, boom, boom, boom. But the thing is, what you're really looking for is green or red or green. So we've been in the green for quite a while. We could, hang out, go back into the red for a while, and then come back up. But watching the Trendillo for a positive tangent cross back into the middle range here, as they say. I'm looking for a dark red here on the Trendillo. I'm watching for the RSI to cross over the signal here on the daily, and that's going to be really, really powerful. I tend to think we're going to move up, so I will probably just add to my position a little bit here. If we don't hold this dot 5 fib level at, let's just say, not rather than 449, but like 450, if we don't hold this little uptrend that we've got going on here, which seems to be drawn wrong at the moment. This uptrend should be like, oh, I see why it's jacked up. Let's go back to like a 4-hour chart or something where you can draw it better. Yeah, you could look at a 4-hour chart or something like that, or 4-hour chart. Good chart time, or an hourly, however you want to look at it. You can easily draw an upwards channel. If we lose that and start heading to the dot 5, you could watch for a dot 5 bounce maybe and then get back in. Once again, it really also depends a lot on what your Trendillo and your RSI and your squeeze indicator are doing. If I wanted to get, here's an hourly. Okay, how are we doing hourly? Hourly ultimately moving up. We're losing that 75 EMA. We could see another, bounce off the lower side of this channel before we continue moving up. Watch the indicators. Anyway, it's a tough moment. Like I say, I'm going to add to my position a little bit and just see if I stay in the green, and I'll revisit it if I don't think we're going to hold this dot 5. But I very well, since I'm kind of like dollar cost averaging this anyway, I probably would just let it go into the red there a little bit till we got down to the 618 golden pocket, which is let me go back to the daily chart. The 618 golden pocket, which is between like 344 and 365. We're probably going to come into here and bounce if we don't hold that dot 5 up there. But it's really up to the individual. That's a lot of space there. Like, how many points is that? Forecast. That would be writing it down like 17%. If it goes all the way to the 618, but if it does, that's a really powerful place to bounce, much more powerful than the dot 5 fib level. Anyway, this fib chart is really sticky, really good looking. I like what I see. It's all about, does the fib stick? Does it look good? And I would say, yeah, it certainly does. And if I was to kind of like shift gears a little bit here, real quick here, I don't want to hold everybody up. Let's just say that we kind of got in, let's do this fib like from here. Let's Fibonacci sequence like from here. No, oh, like to here. Let's look at that. Where are we at? Dot 5. Okay, 618. That looks good. Let's change this a little bit. Let's go to this run up. Now we're down at the 618, and I know it may seem like I'm sort of doing weird things, but you gotta look at the fib a couple ways, and definitely we had a nice here in the daily, a nice powerful retrace. You know, here then we began this upwards movement, and so this actually certainly makes sense as well as a place to put the fib, you know, and definitely that's a nice, beautiful 618 golden pocket bounce. And you could almost go with this and just say, you know what, I'm above the 75 here on the daily. I like what I'm seeing, you know. If we get to like, if we start breaking 450 and lose that 75, maybe I'd scale out, you know, and see what happens if I bounce in the 618, or if I bounce down here on the 786, which is a great place to bounce, or if I hit that 200 and bounce there. So anyway, guys, I'm going to keep looking at this and kind of help find trends. If people dig this, if it works, if it's good, just let me know. Just give me an up vote or something like that. Give me a little thumbs up, do a comment, and I will keep looking at Monero on the almost daily, as often as I have a chance to look at it. You know, I trade for a living, so you can kind of see, like, I'm right now trading like the NASDAQ this morning, and you know, looking for that bounce off the daily low, which I think we might get. FOMC is getting ready to happen, so life's a little bit crazy until that hits. So anyway, I will share what I'm thinking of XMR, because I do think that Monero could definitely be a play. Hey, you know, and if you buy in, if you've got some and you're buying on an uptrend and it's in the green, like, you know, why not, right? You're making money. I just personally don't believe in riding them down, you know, unless you're shorting, because that's just not good. So let's try to scale those buys in when it's moving up, and then get out when we think it's going to reverse. You know, this kind of movement here is always going to cause a big retrace, and let's just see what happens. You guys, everybody, take care. I will talk to you later.